Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a dual avatar deck profile. So I'm really excited for you guys because this deck just got some amazing support out of Cyberstorm Access, giving us an awesome new fusion monster, dual avatar Aun, which is just such a powerful card to be able to play in this deck. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and definitely check out the Patreon in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description in a single video, getting a signed cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Dual Avatar Fist. This card is an awesome normal summon in the deck that has a great effect that you can target a dual avatar monster that you control and destroy it. And if you do, add a dual avatar spell from your deck to your hand, which is a great effect to be able to use with this card to get to our copies of our field spell or even dual avatar invitation, which is such a powerful card to be able to use with this card. And if a face up dual avatar fusion monster that you control that was fusion summoned using an effect monster as material is destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effect while this card is in the graveyard, you can actually add this card back to your hand, which is a great effect to be able to recover this card to be able to get an additional search later. We then play 3 copies of Dual Avatar Feat. Dual Avatar Feat is a definite 3-of in the deck, and this card is awesome in the deck because it has a great effect. If this card is normal or special, you can add a Dual Avatar Trap from your deck to your hand, which is a really good effect that basically your copy of Fist searches the spells and Feat searches the traps. And this card also has an awesome bonus effect that during your opponent's turn, if a face-up Dual Avatar monster you control except another copy of this card is destroyed by battle or by card effect, then you can special summon this card from your hand, then apply the effect to destroy 1 dual avatar monster that you control, and if you do, special summon a dual avatar fusion monster from your extra deck, which is a crazy powerful effect to be able to use with this card. We then play a single copy of Destiny Hero Celestial and a single copy of Destiny Hero Dasher. We are playing a single copy of Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer in the extra deck. It's just really good to be able to play in this deck because you can actually activate your copy of Fusion Destiny as the last card out of your hand in this deck to be able to summon out a crazy powerful boss monster to back up your dual avatar monsters. So these are just really good in the deck. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start off with a single copy of Rhoda. Rhoda is really good because it helps us get to our dual avatar monsters extremely quickly. We then play a single copy of Terraforming. Terraforming is really good as a 1-of in the deck to be able to search out our field spell, which is just such a powerful card. I love being able to use Terraforming to be able to get to our copy of our Perfect Sync because Perfect Sync is a crazy powerful card in this deck. We then play a single copy of Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion is just really good in the deck because we actually play a couple of targets for this card in the extra deck, so it's really good as a 1-of. We then play a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is just awesome in the deck just to stop your opponent from hand trapping you while you're going in for all of your plays. We then play 2 copies of Defeating Evil. Defeating Evil is really good in this deck. I really love this card because this card lets you target a dual avatar monster you control and a card that your opponent controls and destroy them. Then if you destroyed a dual avatar fusion monster, then you can activate the following effect that you can draw a card or banish a card from your opponent's graveyard, which is a really awesome thing about this card. We then play 3 copies of Fusion Deployment. Fusion Deployment is insane in this deck because it lets you reveal one of your dual avatar fusion monsters in your extra deck and special summon out either your copy of Dual Avatar Fist or Feat directly from your deck, which is really insane just to instantly get them out on your side of the field. We then play 3 copies of Super Polymerization. Super Polymerization is really good in this deck just to help you break boards so you can go in for game, and this card is a really powerful 3-of in this build just to break your opponent's board. We then play 3 copies of Fusion Destiny. Fusion Destiny is really good in this deck, and I really love this card in this particular build because it's very easy to summon out your copy of your Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer to your side of the field, especially in this particular deck that can make all of its plays first, then activate Fusion Destiny as the last card out of your hand to get a copy of Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer on the field. This card is super good because it instantly lets you fusion summon and Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer by using the materials from your deck. But for the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters except Dark Hero monsters, which is why we can play this card in the deck because it says after this card resolves. So you can activate this card as the last card out of your hand. We then play 3 copies of Time Tearing Morganite. Morganite is really good as a 3-of in the deck because you don't ever activate any monster effects in the hand, which is why I'm not playing any hand traps that are monsters in this particular deck. This card is great because you sometimes will get in 2 monsters in your hand. For example, a copy of your Fist and Feet in the hand at the exact same time, and you want to be able to normal summon them both out to your side of the field. And this card is basically double summon and Pot of Greed wrapped into 1 card, which is absolutely insane. This card is literally game breaking. I love this card. It has the ability for the rest of the duel. After this card is activated, you cannot activate monster effects in the hand, which we're only playing 8 monsters in the deck, 2 of which are bricks. And then you have the ability that you can draw 2 cards instead of 1 during your normal draw phase. So every turn you get to draw 2. So every turn you get a Pot of Greed. It also has the ability to conduct 2 normal summons or sets this turn, not just 1. So if you have your copy of Fist and Feet both in the hand, you can normal summon them both out to the field with this card effect, which is really good. I love that about this card. And if you draw into multiple copies of this card, it lets you discard it, and then your opponent cannot activate monster effects when you normal summon this turn, giving you even more protection on your normal summons. This card is definitely a 3-of in the deck. We then play 3 copies of Dual Avatar Invitation. This card helps you swarm the field with all sorts of tokens onto your side of the field, and it's absolutely crazy because it also lets you fusion summon twice after you activate this card, letting you step into some really powerful fusion monsters. And it's a really good card in this deck to help you step into some really crazy fusion monsters, because by just discarding a card, you can special summon as many Dual Avatar Spirit tokens to your side of the field as possible. Then it has the ability that you can fusion summon 2 Dual Avatar monsters because you can fusion summon twice by this card's effect, which is really good. We then play 3 copies of Perfect Sync, Aun. This card is really good in the deck because this card is a Rhoda, because when this card is activated, you can add a Dual Avatar monster from your deck to your hand. And if you control a Dual Avatar effect monster, you can special summon a Dual Avatar Spirit token to your side of the field. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extract for the rest of the turn except fusion monsters, which doesn't even stop us from summoning out our copy of Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. So this card is great in the deck to be able to instantly get you to your card that you need while also generating you tokens. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, guys, we're going to be playing a single copy of Dual Avatar Return. Dual Avatar Return is a definite 1-of in the deck because this card is just great to be able to play in the deck because it lets you target a Dual Avatar monster in your graveyard and special summon it. Then if its original level is 4, meaning a main deck Dual Avatar monster, you can special summon out a Dual Avatar Spirit token to your side of the field, which is going to help you for a lot of different plays. We then play 2 copies of Dual Avatar Ascendance. This card is really good as a 2-of in the deck. It lets you target a Dual Avatar monster you control and destroy it, and if you do, special summon a Dual Avatar monster from your deck or extra deck whose original level is 1 level higher or 1 level lower than that monster had on the field, essentially being a transmodify or downbeat for one of your Dual Avatar monsters, which is really good. And then during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard and target a Dual Avatar monster in your grave and add it back to your hand, which is going to recover one of your monsters back, which is really insane because then you can just normal summon out the monster you recovered, which is really good. We then play 2 copies of Dual Avatar Compact. Compact is really good because this card actually copies your spells. It's really good because during your main phase, you can banish 1 Dual Avatar spell or trap from your graveyard, except another copy of this card, and this card's effect becomes that spell or traps when it was activated. So you can actually copy the effect of Invitation, which is really insane. I almost played this card as a 3-of in the deck because you want to copy your copy of Invitation over and over again so you can get multiple fusion summons a turn and be able to summon out some really powerful cards. But I really feel like 2 is totally fine because you're playing so many copies of this card because your copy of Feet can actually search it. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Impermanence is definitely a 3-of and the only hand trap we play in the deck because you cannot activate monster effects in the hand when you have your copy of Time Tearing Morganite. So this card is a definite 3 in the deck just to stop your opponent's monster effects and also lock down entire columns of spells and traps when this card is set to your side of the field. I really like this card in the deck and it's very helpful just to stop your opponent. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're going to start off with 3 copies of Dual Avatar Manifested Aun. This card is exactly what the deck needed, because this card is just a great 3-of in the deck that requires 2 dual avatar monsters to summon out this card to your side of the field. And depending on what you actually use to fusion summon this card depends on the effects that it gets. If you use a copy of the dual avatar Empowered Fist, which is this card, you're actually going to get some really crazy effects that the attack of your battling dual avatar monsters become 3,000 during damage calculation only, which is a really good effect to be able to use. And if you use the dual avatared Empowered Feet, which is going to be this card, you actually get a really awesome effect that once per turn during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can actually target 1 card on the field and banish it. And that's really good to be able to use with this card, and it's a really insane card. It also lets you target 1 card on the field and banish it with that effect, which is just insane. And if this fusion summon card is destroyed, then you can special summon out a dual avatar Fist, which is just really good to be able to summon that card to your side of the field, and a dual avatar Feet from your deck. And if you do, they cannot be destroyed without a bad card effect this turn, which is just such a good effect just to instantly replace this card with monsters that you need. I love this card in the deck, and it's such a good card for this particular build. We then play 2 copies of the dual avatared Empowered Fist. This card is insanely good in the deck. I love this card. It's an awesome boss monster to be able to put on your side of the field, because if this card battles, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step, and if this card attacks after damage calculation, you can return 1 monster that your opponent controls back to the hand, and when your opponent's spell or trap card or effect is activated that targets this card on the field, while you control 2 or more fusion monsters, quick effect, you can negate the activation of that card, which is really good just to give you that little bit of protection. We then play 2 copies of Empowered Feet. Empowered Feet is a definite 2-of in the build. This card is really insane, because it just helps out a lot to be able to put this card on the field, because it has a great effect that the first time each dual avatar fusion monster you control would be destroyed by battle, each turn it is not destroyed, giving you a little bit of protection. And once per turn during your main phase, you can return all spells and traps your opponent controls back to the hand, and when an effect monster activated on your opponent's side of the field activates its effect while you control 2 or more fusion monsters, quick effect, you can destroy that monster, giving you a pop with this card. We then play 2 copies of dual avatar Fist Armored. This card is just a really awesome stepping stone in the deck. You do summon it out all the time in this deck off of your copy of Invitation, but it's a really good card in this particular deck to be able to use. Because if this card is special summon, you could target an attack position monster your opponent controls and destroy it. Also, this card cannot attack directly for the rest of the turn, which is not that big of a deal, but using this card as a pop is really nice. We then play 2 copies of Dual Avatar Feet Armored. This card is really good as a 2 in the deck. I feel like 2, 2, and 2 is the best way to play in this deck. Being able to play 2 of each of them besides your copy of Manifested is just the best way to play Dual Avatar, because you have the exact amount of options that you need in this particular deck. And if a Dual Avatar Fusion monster you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can destroy 1 Dual Avatar monster you control instead, and then during your main phase, if you control a Dual Avatar Fusion monster that was Fusion summoned using an effect monster as material, quick effect, you can target a face-up monster that was special summoned from the extract and negate its effects until the end of the turn, which is a really good effect to be able to use with this card. We then play a single copy of Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, because it's very easy to put on your side of the field with Fusion Destiny, and it's a really awesome boss monster to play in this deck. And then for these super poly targets, we're going to play a single copy of Starving Venom, because it's one of the best cards to be able to summon to your side of the field, and easy to summon to your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Mud Dragon, because it's an awesome option, and 1 copy of Garua, because Garua is just really easy to put on your side of the field, and it's probably the easiest summoning requirements out of all of your different super poly targets in this deck. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely tell what you think of this deck down in the comments down below. It's a really fun deck to be able to play, and a very budget option for anybody who wants to pick up a deck, because this deck is just really fun, and the majority of the stuff was printed as commons or supers, making this deck really easy to pick up. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.